Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is nikymus, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empires free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share this video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. 8 signs that you've got a very strong, intimidating presence. Now it's a video for the chosen ones. As a chosen one, you are different. You've always been different, actually, from day one. Now, there is people and the enemy around you that never ever wanted you to discover who you are. Because you see, you really get empowered by knowing who you really are, whether it is a positive thing or it is a negative thing, because now you can know what are you going to do with your life. So your eyes are no longer blind. And now you can start making decisions, conscious ones, because now you know which other steps are you going to make for yourself and which direction are you going to move, okay? If you know there's a problem, now you're moving towards fixing the problem. But if you know it's a good thing, whatever it is you discover about yourself, self-discovery, if it's a good thing, you're now going to use it to your own advantage, and at the same time, use it to help the people around you. Now, the life of a chosen one is very mysterious and is very controversial. That's the reason as to why you're struggling to fit in. You feel like you're not from this world. You feel like you see a lot of people going that way, you're going this way, people doing this, you're doing that. A lot of things that you have always done for yourself, they have not been the things that other people around you have been doing. But at the same time, when you discover who you are as a chosen one, there are some paths that are going to start revealing themselves to you, okay? What many people don't understand about chosen people, some people think that being a chosen one is a walk in the park. Some people don't recognize that being a chosen one also comes with a lot of responsibility, because we already know to whom much is given, much is expected, okay? So there is something within you that God has put within you that is supposed to help the world out there and many people around you, okay? Now, you see, the thing is, you also have to understand that there is also some other negative things that usually happen around you. There will be good things that you will be seeing around you happening, but there will also be some other times very uncomfortable things that may start happening around you. And that is because, as a chosen one, you have got a presence. You've got this presence around you that many people don't recognize, you know. Your family doesn't recognize this. Your friends don't recognize this. Of course, you've been with these friends and, you know, sometimes they think you're different. They think you want to do things a different way. You think a different way, you reason a different way, you act in a different way. And that's okay, okay? But for you, you really need to understand that there is this presence around you. It has always been there from day one. A presence around you that many people around you do not recognize. And sometimes it's also a very uncomfortable experience, not only for you, but also for the people around you. But that being said, there is also some other things that is very intimidating about this presence that you have around you. And I'm going to give you guys in this video the 8 signs that you have got a very strong, intimidating presence around you, chosen one. Number 1, as a chosen one, there is people coming around you and they are dropping their items. Now, some of you guys might want to say, oh, you know, that is a coincidence. Of course, maybe something just slipped out of their pockets, or maybe all of a sudden they just dropped this money, or maybe they dropped their wallet, maybe they dropped their phone, or whatever. Even sometimes you may even sometimes see people dropping. Physically, their bodies, they are dropping. It's like they are falling for no apparent reason. Something slip, maybe they slip and fall, or the things like that. There's things that are dropping around you. Now, let me tell you something about high vibrational beings. A chosen one, you are a high vibrational being. Now, that vibration also spreads out to anybody that comes into close contact with you. And sometimes even unconsciously, you're going to recognize that these individuals, maybe sometime they're walking towards you, and then they will drop their wallet. Then they drop their phone. Some of them, they may even sometimes slip and fall. Or sometimes they may drop anything. It can just be anything. This is something you have got to understand, ladies and gentlemen. There are no coincidences on this universe. Let nobody ever tell you these things. There are no coincidences on this universe. There is some things that are happening that other people cannot see. It is a very few selected people that understand this kind of things, because they're on a different dimension. Okay. When you're a person who recognizes people coming around you and they are simply dropping their things, their items, belongings, or whatever, things like that, that is one sign. Or that is the first sign right there that you've got a very strong, intimidating presence around you, and that is the vibration that you carry within. Sometimes shifting a lot of things around you, even sometimes causing people to drop their personal items on the floor. Sign number 2, that you've got a very strong, intimidating presence around you, is when you're in a certain area. Let's say, for example, you have gone outside, you have gone out there somewhere in the town or wherever it is you decide to go. And then for some reason you see people, they are starting to fight against each other, you know. It may look like, okay, so maybe that could be their issues, of course, they are dealing with. But okay, before you came around, they were having normal conversations and, you know, maybe lying to themselves or whatever, doing these kind of magics and tricks and everything. You came around, and all of a sudden they start to have this kind of an argument. I'll give you a real case scenario. Do you know sometimes that even within your family members, when you're around certain family members, they start to argue against each other and amongst each other? Do you even know sometimes in the workplaces, if you're in a workplace, you may sometimes all of a sudden see people, all of a sudden they spark off an argument in that vicinity where you're around. You know, they're around you, and all of a sudden you see them, they're kicking off and they're getting involved and starting off an argument. It's not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. Your vibration is at a high. You're a high vibrational being, and sometimes when you're around certain individuals, it causes their inner demons to kick off. They may not necessarily attack you, although they may try to, but usually they know that they can do nothing to you. But sometimes you're going to see them sparking off an argument amongst themselves. They may even sometimes get into a physical fight, if not a verbal one. Okay? That is the second sign right there, that you have got a very strong, intimidating presence around you, my chosen ones. Okay? The sign number 3 that you have got a very strong, intimidating presence around you is when you are around certain individuals. This can be some place, maybe let's say, there's a setting somewhere, you're in a meeting, or you're in a conference, or you're at your workplace, or the things like that, and you, for some reason, you're seeing like people are trying to cover their faces. You know, sometimes you may see people, they don't want to look at you directly. Sometimes they're looking the other way, and sometimes even covering their faces. This is something, you may sometimes have missed this kind of event, but usually you're going to see a lot of individuals when you come around them. They cannot even afford to look you straight in the eyes, or to look you straight in the face, or to look even sometimes towards your direction in this case. You may sometimes experience people, sometimes they are putting something, maybe a hat on their faces, or sometimes they're looking the other way, or sometimes they're looking on the floor, they're looking in the sky. They cannot look at you directly. It is also sometimes a sign. It can be a sign. On a spiritual level, they are not seeing you in the 3D. Okay, I've told you guys, these all things are happening spiritually. There is some things we really need to understand, to understand that there's a spiritual world that we're living in that many people do not recognize. You only have got to be at a certain vibration to recognize certain events around you in your life. If you ever come to that place whereby you see a lot of individuals, they could be sometimes sitting opposite you, and then all of a sudden they're holding a book in front of their face. They cannot look you directly in the face. You have got to know that your presence around sometimes is very disturbing for some people, because there's this aura around you that is really, really piercing through other people's souls. and they cannot handle that frequency. So sometimes they are going to even sometimes to cover their eyes so that they may not have a direct look at you in your direction. They're going to look away, look in the sky, look on the ground, or sometimes they will put something in front of their heads. They may pretend they're reading a newspaper, or they may put a book in front of their eyes, and they cannot look at you directly. That is a very big sign. That is a sign number 4 that you have got a very strong, intimidating presence wherever you go. The sign number 5 that you've got a very strong, intimidating presence is when you recognize sometimes people may actually freeze in time. Now, when I talk about freezing in time, many people may not understand what I'm talking about. Freezing in time is when a person comes around you and comes to you, for example. They approach you, and then all of a sudden they stand still. They're just watching you, and they stand still, and they have even lost the words to say. They might have had an intention that, oh, I'm going to go to this man or this woman, and I'm going to say this, or I'm going to say that, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And they will start walking towards you. But the very moment they reach where you are, they are going to freeze in time. They will lose the right words to say. Sometimes you see them fidgeting around. They are trying to eat up their words. Even sometimes they are not saying the exact things that they wanted to tell you. That is a very big sign right there that you have got a very strong, intimidating presence. They thought they could come around you and say whatever they wanted to say or do whatever they wanted to do. But when they approached you and they reached where you were, they were lost of words. They just stood in time and they froze in time. That is a sign right there that you have got a very, very strong, intimidating presence around you. Now the sign number 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sign number 5, I've got my list right here, that you've got a very strong, intimidating presence around you, is when people come around you, or you come across certain individuals, and for some reason they start to expose themselves, So sometimes you see the energy you carry as a chosen one is an energy like no other. Because it's on a very high frequency, sometimes you see people coming around you, sometimes they're even trying to say the things that they're not supposed to say, okay? They may start to tell you things about their deepest inner secrets, and sometimes those are the things they've been trying to hide from so many people, okay? And all of a sudden you will see them, they're telling you, oh, there's this thing, what was happening with my dog, or something happened with my ex-wife, or something happened with my brother, or there was something at home. It can be anything. But on a very close examination on these conversations and engagements, you are going to see that these individuals actually, they are exposing themselves. There are some things they are telling you, or they are mentioning that they were not even supposed to mention, or even sometimes they have never mentioned in their entire lives. So sometimes people are going to expose themselves, and that's how sometimes chosen people, you catch up on these low vibrational beings. If a person has got bad intentions sometime and they come towards you, that's when they are going to start telling you things, and they're going to expose themselves. And that is how sometimes they blow their cover. And even sometimes you're able to protect yourself and get away from them, okay? That is a very powerful sign right there, that your presence is very intimidating for some individuals around you. The sign number 6, that you've got a very strong, intimidating presence around certain individuals, is when sometimes you appear in a certain area. Let me say, for example, you enter the bus, or you enter the train, or I'll give an example, there's some people sitting somewhere, and you come and join them and sit next to them. This one is a very powerful one, and I think many of you guys have experienced this event. You enter the bus, there's an empty seat, you take a seat. You enter the train, there's an empty seat, you take the seat. And for some reason, you see some people actually standing up and leaving that place and going away. You have not said anything, you didn't do anything, it has got nothing to do with your skin color. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, or green, it doesn't matter. You enter a certain area, you take a seat, and there's some people next to you. And for some reason, you see somebody simply getting up and walking away. Or sometimes you approach certain individuals, and when you come around their presence, you see them getting up and walking away, or sometimes running away. Or another case scenario, which is a very common one. You're walking towards a certain direction, and there's somebody coming towards you. Before they reach you, are going to see them diverting and making the left or turning right, or even sometimes making a U-turn and going back where they have been. That is a very big sign. It may have happened to you, and I would like to know about that in the comment section below. If this is something you have seen, and they are going to walk towards the opposite direction, or walk left or walk right, or if you approach them where they are going to get up and walk away. Okay, that is a very big sign, chosen ones, that it is your presence. It's all about your vibration and your frequency. That's why they're actually trying to avoid you at every cost. It is something that is within the inside of them, because sometimes people, they are carrying a lot of these darkest inner demons, okay? And sometimes they feel on a very spiritual level, when they approach you, it's like they could get exposed or something may happen. They have got this kind of it's a fear. It's a fear of the unknown, okay? And they don't know what to confront you at any level. So they will see you and they will going to walk away. Or you sit next to them and they're going to stand up and walk away. That is a sign right there that you have got a very strong, intimidating presence, okay? Now, sometimes, chosen ones, which is the sign number 7, that you have got actually a very strong, intimidating presence, is when sometimes you're catching a lot of people staring at you. You're doing your own thing. You're in your own lane. You're out there doing your own thing. You're minding your own business. You're not even bothered with anyone. And then you're going to catch a lot of people actually staring at you. These people don't even know you. You could be sometime let's say on the zebra crossing, you want to cross the cars, and you're going to see all the people in those cars, they all turn their heads and they're looking at you for some reason. You know what I mean? You don't have to be, and when I talk about chosen people, you don't have to be extremely beautiful or, pretty or sometimes dressed in a certain kind of way. No. Chosen one, you look at this whole thing in an energetic perspective. So you need to understand that your energy is different. It is what is actually causing these tears. These tears are actually happening. They are happening spiritually. There are people who sometimes they do not know the right words to explain. So their body is physical on the 3D. They are watching you, but these tears, ladies and gentlemen, they are coming from a higher dimension. So it is not the physical bodies you see staring at you. It is something the energies that they are carrying within them. They are the ones actually staring at you. Everywhere that you go, chosen one, this is something you must have seen. People just want to stare at you for no apparent reason. They do not know why, and they don't know why they do it, but for some reason, they are turning around and staring at you. That is a big sign right there, that you have got a very strong, intimidating presence around you, okay? Now, the last one, which is number 8. As a chosen one, you might recognize that you come across certain individuals, and for some reason, people start experiencing unexpected miracles, or even sometimes unexpected blessings. Now, a chosen one is a person who can bless anybody without even trying. You just be around certain people. Maybe you guys are having a conversation. You may sometimes meet some people who are dealing with something. You may just tell them only one thing that will actually change their life forever. That is something you're going to experience as a chosen one. You're going to see sometimes you're coming around certain individuals. Maybe sometimes they could have had a certain illness, or they could have been suffering from a certain sickness. You just stay around them, or you just be around them. Even sometimes you may give them a simple handshake. Even sometimes you may say something. It may be something you may say, or it may be something you may do, or sometimes you may even give them a simple handshake. And ladies and gentlemen, in the next couple of minutes, in the next couple of hours, or even sometime a couple of days, those individuals are going to start experiencing unexpected blessings. A lot of them, they are going to think it's a coincidence, that all these beautiful things that started happening around them is not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. It's just because they came around your energy. At a certain point in time, they contacted a chosen one, a very anointed being. That is why they're starting to see a lot of these paths opening for them in their lives. Even sometimes the things are happening that they never expected in their entire life. That is the reason, or that is the sign right there, that you have got a very, very strong presence around you. And that is what is causing sometimes people to get blessed in one way or the other, even sometimes to get healed, okay? And it's the energy that many people don't understand. If you have experienced any of these signs I've talked about, I would like to know about that in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and let us know what you think. You guys already know that I do love and appreciate your support. You can book a session with me if you want to. You may always donate to support my channel if you want to. And until then, I'll catch you guys in my next one. There's no more signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.